Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. You know, word on the street is somebody dropped their Scrabble game all over the freeway. Today, we're taking a look at Big Time Hockey by Pungo Games. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're taking a look at Big Time Hockey. Now, this is a game, it's produced by Pungo Games, and it's published by Worthington. Now, this is a two-player only game, ages 14 and up, and it looks like about 45 minutes to play the game. Complexity level, really low. Okay, but how does this game play? Let's go down to the table, and I'll show you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I got the game currently set up right now, and what we're at here is we're in the first period of the game. Now, you put the puck in the middle because you're in the middle of a face-off. You got the deck of cards over here. Everybody has a hand of 5 cards. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to roll the dice. One of the players is going to roll, and the other person is going to call odds or even. If they get it correct, all right, they'll become the offensive player. Let's say I got it correct. I'd be the offensive player, so I put the puck in my zone. I'm now on the offense. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my hand, okay? And I'm looking at my color cards. I'm not looking at the gray cards, and I'm not looking at the ones that are this orange right here. Okay, now think of the color cards as your lines. If you know anything about hockey, you always have multiple lines, and each line has its set of skaters that skate together. So you have like your A line, your B line, your C line, etc. So you can't play red cards with green cards or green with brown or anything else because, well, they're on different lines. So what you can do is you can play up to 1 to 3 cards. Okay, now let's say, for example, this is my hand right here. Okay, I'm just going to play this to skate. All right. Now, as soon as I play a card, no matter how many I play, my opponent gets a chance to defend. So what he's going to do is he's going to look at his hand, and he's now looking at these orange cards. All right. Now, he can play orange cards if they equal or exceed what my skate value is. Well, right now he only has 1, okay, but he has a shot block card, which means if I try to shoot, he can try to block the shot. And that's all he has. So he may choose to pass. Now, when you pass on defense and you don't play a card, you get to draw a card into your hand. All right. Now, you had a Hamlin of 5, but this is the one time you can go over that. And I also forgot to mention, when you play your cards, you instantly replenish your hand as well. Okay. So you may draw more cards. So now this is what I drew. I'm like, okay, cool. That's awesome. I'm going to play that card right there. So I have a set of 3 cards. I'm going to replenish my hand back up to 5. And my opponent's going to go, and he's like, nope, I'm not going to defend. I'm like, great. I'm not going to play any more cards. Well, now that I know that he's not going to play any more cards, now you can start playing these gray cards. So a clear puck would allow you just to clear out the puck. Your opponent's going to get it, all right, and nothing else. It's kind of a way for you to clear out your hand. Or I can turn around, I'm going to say, I'm going to play this deflection +1. So it's going to give me a bonus. So how you shoot is, now I'm going to sit there, I'm going to roll this dice, and I have to get a 4 or less, okay? If I get a 4 or less, I'm going to score a goal. But at this point, now that I played this card, the defender turns around and he can say, whoa, 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 hold on right there. I'm going to block that shot. Okay, so this is you play when an opponent's about ready, okay, when an opponent about ready to shoot, and you gain control. So it would go over here. Okay, now he played a card, so he doesn't get to replenish his hand. All right, and I'm now out of these cards. Okay, now let's say, for example, he didn't play that card, and this is what my hand was. All right, now what I'm going to do is I would end up rolling this dice, and on a 4 or less, which I did, I scored a goal. So I'm going to take the puck, and I'm going to put it over in my score zone. Okay, and now another puck's going to come out to the middle. All right, I was on offense, so I need to make sure I replenish my hand. Oops, I put those cards in the wrong spot. Okay, and now I'm going to replenish my hand. Okay, so I'm back up to my 5. All right, now we go for the face-off. Now the opponent's going to roll this dice. Okay, and I'm going to call it, say I call evens, and it's even. So, hey, look at that. I got the puck again. Okay, and we're going to keep doing this. Now, one of the things you can do is you can always play, and I'm going to look for some cards here to help me out here. You can always play 3 cards, all right, when you play. But one of the things that you cannot do when you play 3 cards, if you put them all down on one shot, is you can't put all of the same cards down. Okay, for example, so I have a skate, and a pass. I couldn't do that and have all 3 of the same cards. That's one of the things that you can't do. All right. Now, the other thing that you can do on defense too, so when your opponent has their cards down, is, like I said, you can actually, if you have them, you can play 2 defensive cards, okay, and they'll stack on top of each other. And what the defender needs to do is the defender needs to get points equal to whatever these points are. If that's the case, then he's going to prevent that from happening, and he now becomes the offensive player. all right, I would have drawn my hand back up to 5 because I was on the offense. Now the opponent's on the offense, so he's basically going to do the same. Okay, and that's basically how you play. There's some other cards in here that are going to do various things. All right, so we talked. There's shot blocked, which I said after your opponent declares he's shooting, but before he rolls a dice, that's when you play that card. Okay, and you want to wait because you want him to play this deflection card that's going to get that out of his hand. Okay, so you got to hold on to it for the right moment. Now, if you're on offense, you got to make sure that, it's like, okay, I'm shooting. You don't pick up the dice and roll because then you may roll. He may play the card. You got to give a chance for everybody to play their cards. Okay. But there's some other defensive cards that are actually really cool as well. Okay. There's your super save, what a grab, which is, your opponent, you save it, boom, it goes into a face off. All right. There's your shot block. Now, this one's really cool too because this one here, you're going to play on a single card during your opponent's play. So say, your opponent plays a card, when he plays it, he's going to put it over here. So he's going to steal it. And now he's going to get a shot at whatever the strength one card is, +2. So he would get a 3. He missed. The cards go away. Okay. So there's some really cool cards like that. Not a whole lot of them, but there's some other ones. There's a steal and you play that on another single card where you, actually what I just did, steal and shoot, defense plus penalty. Now, the way the penalties work is if you get a penalty, okay, if the number on your penalty card is twice the value of what there is over here, you have to just note that. So what's going to happen is when you get a penalty, okay, you're going to consult this chart, and you're going to roll the dice, and you're looking down here to see what that number is. So in this case, like if I rolled a 1, there would be no shots for this particular penalty. You had a penalty and nothing happens. There's no shots going to be happen, like say on the power play, because the penalty is always going to give you your power play. But if it comes up here to, like, say you're 6, for example, you're going to get a 1, a 1, and a 2. You're going to get 3 shots. Okay. And the way those 3 shots are going to work is you're going to roll the dice. If you score, then you're done. Okay. Because it's a minor penalty. Then over here, you're going to get a chance to roll it again. Nope. And the third shot's going to be a 2. If I get a 2, hey, in that case, red say did, so he would get it. Okay. Now, when you're rolling for your penalty dice, if you happen to roll a 10, well, that's a major penalty, and you're going to get a chance to roll all 4 of those, and even if you make the goal, and you're good to go. But for the most part, that's pretty much everything that this game offers. You're just playing cards back and forth. You're on offense, defense, offense. You're replenishing your hand, and you're going to keep on going until this deck runs out, and then the offensive player goes to replenish his hand to 5. Once that happens, if he can't replenish his hand, that ends the period. Okay, so now we're going to go to the second period. We're going to shuffle the deck, deal out 5, and we're going to play again. Now, in the third period, what's going to happen is when there's, I think it's 5 or 6 cards left in the draw pile, whoever's behind, okay, so say, for example, by the time you get to this point, it's a nice low-scoring game. It's 2-1. Okay, red's only got 1, so they can actually pull their goalie, all right? Now, when they pull their goalie, then what's going to happen is when you get shots, you're going to get a bonus of +1 because they're shooting. But you can only do it in a certain time. And then if penalties happen when the goalie's pulled, then different things are going to happen. Now, one of the things I did forget to mention, when you do play that fight card, okay, because see, like, here's your penalty. But when you do play the fight card, which I don't think I showed, yeah, so there's your fight. You can start a fight, okay? So what happens in a fight is both players are going to roll the dice, and whoever happens to get the higher roll, they're going to get this +1 inspiration. Now, the next time they go to shoot a goal, they get a +1 to that shot. Whether they make it or not, goes away, and there you go. So you're going to keep playing until the end of the third period, okay? Once all that's done, whoever has the most points wins. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's just kind of a real high level on how to play the game. It doesn't cover everything, but it should cover most of the stuff in the game for the most part. Okay. Now, one of the things that I do like about this game is, this is a really fast game. If I remember right, I think the game says it plays in like 45 minutes or less. And once you know how to play the game, it really does. I mean, the deck's not super big. It doesn't take long to go through it. And you're playing those cards out pretty fast because you're putting a couple cards down. You're seeing if your opponent wants to defend. If not, boom, you roll the dice to shoot. And if you miss, puck goes to your opponent, and you just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the biggest thing for me that I couldn't really figure out or remember was who rolled the dice when we go to do a face-off and who's supposed to determine odds or evens. But really, I don't think it truly matters that much as who rolls the dice and who guesses it, because, well, it's random anyways for the most part. But it's fun. I actually enjoyed it. So, I mean, one of the things that I really liked about it is, when you look at the cards, I like the fact that it had the different colored cards. Okay, it had the reds, the greens. So I like how it took into consideration the lines that you have in hockey. That's actually really cool. There's some wild cards. I didn't really cover the wild cards. Different things can happen with wild cards, especially with penalties and shots and stuff like that. But it's really good. I mean, there's I think 5 or 6 different defense cards. You don't know how they're going to play. You can stack them up if you want. I like how, if you just decide, you know what, guy's only got a 1 out there, I'm just going to go and draw another card. Maybe it's going to help me on offense next time. Let him shoot. It's a 1 in 10 chance. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of little strategies. One of the things you can also do too in this game, when you're on offense and you play your cards, you don't have to draw back up to the 5 cards. Okay, you can just draw some of the cards. You don't have to draw back up, and that may be a strategy late in the game, especially in the third period, to see who's going to pull if the guy behind is going to pull their goalie, or at the end of the period in general as well, because you're trying to slow down when that period's going to end and everything else. So there is some strategy to this game, and I do like that. It's actually really nice. And like I said, and it plays fast. I keep kind of glancing through the book as I look at stuff, but I enjoy this game. It was fun. And again, like I said, it's really fast. This is a great game that you can pull out at the beginning of a game night, end of a game night, or you got a buddy that comes over and you're just like trying to find something to do for an hour or something like that. Hey, let's just put this down on the table. Let's play it. Let's have a little fun. Especially if you're a hockey fan. I mean, if you're a hockey fan, this is awesome. I'd play this with my son while we're watching hockey. He's a bigger hockey fan than I am, but I love watching hockey. So, yeah, I think it's a fun game. Absolutely enjoy playing it. And I definitely highly recommend this game to anybody that, if you're a hockey fan, if you like it, even if you're not a hockey fan, I think you might actually enjoy this game just because of the unique card play. All right. Now, is it one of those games that, you're going to want to pull out and play all the time and play repeatedly or anything else? Yeah, maybe not. But to pull it out every now and then and play it, it's a fun game. It's an enjoyable game, and it's small. Like I said, I mean, it's not a large game that's going to take up a lot of space on your shelf. So yeah, it does exactly what it needs to do. It's a small game that has a theme that you don't see a lot of. You don't see a lot of hockey games out there. So it kind of fills that little niche a little bit, plays fast, actually plays pretty good as well. So there you go. I recommend it. If you like hockey, I'd say get it. It's a great game. Well, thank you once again for joining me today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we please ask you to like this video on YouTube, Board Game Geek, Facebook, X. Also, please leave a comment. We love hearing about you, love talking about the different games we're talking about, or just anything in general. And also click the subscription button if you're not already a subscriber. We'd love to have you as part of our family. And click the notification button if you want to be notified when we drop new videos. Also, if you like the content that I provide, I do have a secondary channel where I do some of my own unboxings for my own stuff at home, as long with some reviews and everything else. That's over at on YouTube for Ray Fay. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you like the content we provide here, we humbly ask you click on the Super Thanks button and leave a tip. They're coming out with a new movie about tractors. I saw the trailer yesterday.
Please somebody help me on my feet again. And I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band. God knows that I love to fight.
And me, Count Dracula.
My fangs fell out when I said me.